welcome to this week's episode of Creative Questions. Our guest today is Robert Gallardo. He currently serves as AWGE's creative director and has worked with rappers like A$AP Rocky, Playboi Carti, and Juicy J. In today's episode, we talk about AI and Robert's AI workflow process. We talk about his time that he has spent working with AWGE, and we talk about him wearing the color gray for the past 10 years. This episode was really fun, and we got very into some philosophical thought process, which is really cool. So I hope you enjoy this episode, and here is Robert. Dope. How's it going, Robert?
Yo, what's up, man? How you doing?
I'm doing good. It's dope to really sit down and chat with you.
Yeah, you too.
One of
You
my
too.
buddies was like, I know the guy who is the creative director for AWGE, and I was like, what? So it's really dope to get to talk and chat with you. I always AWGE is a really big inspiration, I feel, for a lot of black hip hop creatives. So it's really cool to sit down and talk to someone who knows more about it. So I'm excited
Yeah,
to talk to you
for
today.
sure. No, for sure, for sure. You too, man. You too. I'm just happy to be here. Happy to be here.
Yeah, dope. So usually to kick it off, I try to start talking about where you started and everything. So I really want to start about can you tell me some of the first ways you started expressing yourself using art? What were those first mediums? How what were you doing?
Um, it just depends on where you want to start. But I guess I
Yeah.
guess to be relevant to this conversation, I guess I'd say I would think to start around the time where I was painting on shirts in high school and stuff. And trying to sell
Dope.
painted on shirts in high school. You know what I mean? After watching
Yeah.
stuff after growing up watching You Got Served and
Mm-hmm.
Belly and just things media that had painted on shirts and stuff like that. um I felt uh you know that was kind of the first introduction to doing this kind of creative work for sale for hire, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Then when you started doing that, did you know anything about it, or were you just like, hey, this is something I saw, I just want to do it? How did that kind of start for you?
No, it's just something that so a friend of mine, he was from Vegas. His name is escaping me right now, but he came to our high school and he was just super into it. And then another friend of mine named Jeremy had he worked at a t-shirt shop that was co-owned. He co-owned with a couple other friends of mine, Brainstorm and Glenn. Like so, I was around them. They were actually doing shirts for sale. I think the homie's
Oh,
name
dope.
was
Okay.
Simon or something like that, something like that. But yeah. So they were selling shirts. So I saw them selling shirts. I
Mm-hmm.
saw that was a viable business. You know what I mean? So it's uh,
Gotcha.
as a creative for hire, I think you kind of started around there, trying to sell shirts and design shirts, you know, things like that. I learned Photoshop around that time, so I would say that's
Yeah.
kind of the start of this version of my creative process.
Got you. Where were you at? You're from Florida, right? So this was all happening in Florida?
Yeah, this was in St. Pete, Florida. So
Okay.
there was a place called Maximall. I'm in St. Pete, Florida right now. I'm at my mom's house right now, actually.
Oh, got you. Okay.
So I'm in St. Pete, Florida. This was at a place called Maxi Mall where Jeremy and Brainstorm and Glenn co-owned the shop. Brainstorm actually does tattoos. Um, and so I would go there after school, and also then they had a shop on Central, eventually Central Avenue in St. Pete. If you're from St. Pete.
Yeah.
People from St. Pete are gonna know what I'm talking about. They had a shop on Central where they would do tattoos and T-shirts. So or it was called Tees and Tats actually. So we'd just go up there, and then that was my introduction to learning. This was all in St. Pete, yeah, and that was
For
kind of
sure.
where I started doing this whole thing. I would say that was the start of it.
Yeah, that's dope. So, I mean, to hop on Photoshop, it sounds like as a creative, you started off very fearless. You're like, hey, whatever I need to learn, I'm gonna learn on my own. Because I mean, it sounds like you were self-taught, right? In all of the creative ventures that you have now currently.
Yeah, so exactly. So yeah, it was out of necessity. I didn't have money to pay
Mhm.
people to do it. The people that were around me that knew how to do it were kind of busy doing it for money. So it's if I had
Yeah.
an idea for something, I kind of had to just figure out how to do it myself. and learning Photoshop was just the way to do that, at the time.
Yeah. I feel like every young designer starts off in Photoshop, which is so funny
Yeah.
because it's one of those. I mean, for t-shirts that makes sense, but a lot of them end up in like the vector world. So, Illustrator is always scary for like new creatives, but Photoshop is always that entry point where people are like, "Hey, I could do this." Like, so
Right. Right.
how'd you get your first copy? Was it just like someone you knew somebody or?
It was illegally downloaded for sure. It was definitely illegally. I'm pretty sure it was illegally downloaded. Torrent, piratebay.com or something like that. I'm pretty sure it was piratebay.com, something like that. Yeah, it was definitely a
Yeah.
torrent. It was a torrent for sure.
That's hilarious, and that's the sign of the time. I remember that whole LimeWire, like you were getting whatever you needed. I hope no
Yeah,
one's listening that can go back to that.
man. Honestly, I wish it was more like that now. Like for movies and stuff. I feel like I don't own any movies because it's like
For sure.
it's all on streaming. Like and like I'll buy stuff on Amazon or whatever, but I won't download the file when I buy it. I just like leave it in my Amazon Prime. So like I don't know. I feel like physical media or like downloading your own media is like a lost art.
Yeah, me and my wife were talking about that the other day. Just like we have a son, so we're like, I remember growing up and like you find your parents' CDs or like you find it was more like their cassette tapes, and my dad had this like briefcase of cassette tapes, and I remember being like, "What is this?" And then he also had a cassette player, so we would kind of like that was your own version of crate digging when you were kids to kind of like it showed you
How
your
how old are
parents'
you?
world a little bit. I'm
How old?
34.
All right, cool. I'm just making sure we're on the same page. I'm 34 as well too.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
But I
So I
definitely
would,
yeah, digging through DVDs, digging through VHSs,
yeah,
cassette tapes, all that stuff was like our version of crate digging for sure.
yeah, and like nowadays, if you have kids, like if you're not making creative stuff or like, then what are they gonna have to look through? Like it's not gonna like you're gonna have your Instagram from 2025 for them to go back and look through. That's not gonna exist in whenever they're old. So we've been
Right.
talking about how do we bring back physical media? Like how do we like my wife's been journaling. She's been taking quotes and things that she's been finding in the world and like documenting that in a journal to hopefully be able to he pick that up and read some of these quotes that she's come along the way. So, I mean, I don't know. What do you think about that?
About what bringing back physical
Like
media?
yeah, like how do we do it? Like how like what are some of the ways that we can kind of get around it?
I think it's like creating space for it in our homes. Like we used to have, entertainment centers that had shelving
Yeah,
for these things. Now I think, we more so have like shelves that are more general purpose to put like,
yeah,
Pokemon toys on and
yeah,
books and stuff like that. It's more general purpose shelves instead of like entertainment centers like it used to be with like DVD shelves and stuff like that. So I think it's like designing your home and thinking more about how you can have space for that in your home in a way that's not tucked away in the attic where you're never going to remember to go
mm,
watch a DVD, but it's not just intrusive and like this whole wall in your living room has to be dedicated to DVDs. So maybe if it's one of those folders with the sleeves
yeah,
in it, or like there's some other solutions. I think there's just finding cool solutions that work for you and your lifestyle. For me, like I'm not in the physical part of it yet. I'm just starting to
for
download
sure.
more movies to my hard drive.
Yeah, that's
I just
dope.
want
It's almost like
just starting there, just downloading more movies to my hard drive, so I can just have more movies that I like and love on my hard drive instead of like, oh, was it on HBO Max or was it on Amazon
yeah,
Prime? Oh, let me go, or maybe it was on Hulu. Wait, do Hulu have commercials now? Hulu got commercials now, right? Or they always
yeah,
had commercials. Oh no, Amazon Prime has commercials now. Even if I bought it, I want to download the thing.
for sure.
So
Yeah, that's
that's,
a great point. It's almost like integrating it into your lifestyle like it's art. Like putting it on display is
but
like
yeah,
a
the
way.
same way like we have this culture now that like have art books on display or have like our
Yeah,
collections of toys and things like that on display.
yeah,
That's a part of our like aesthetic culture right now as far as our generation. So like yeah, just having that be a part of it and just being proud of it and also like making it make sense. Like people display their record collections or they have them like
hmm
plastered on the walls. Like why not have a shelf where it's just the VHS covers and like it's just those look just as cool. You know what I'm saying?
They do. Yeah, it's a certain type of aesthetic and look to them, and they're always like, again, people when they make stuff, they're thoughtful in how they make it and want to put it out. So it is art. Like all that stuff is art in a sense.
Yeah.
That's really yeah, I like that. So I asked you like what your favorite medium was when you were a kid or like how you got started. But let's talk now. Like what was your favorite medium to create in? Like how when you get to you're feeling artistic, where do you go?
AI.
Really?
Yeah. AI.
That's where you start now?
AI first. Yeah, you gotta be AI first. We don't have to be, but I'm an AI first creative now. Well, I mean, I started
Oh,
my
interesting.
notes. I started my iPhone
Yeah.
notes and I write down ideas, but yeah, I barely even sketch anymore. Just straight to let's see it.
Oh wow.
Let's visualize this instantly in AI. Yeah, with AI. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
tell
so
me about more about that process. Like where are you using? Like what places are you going to do that? Like
yeah, for sure. So like I said, I'll start on my notes and I'll just write the idea down as I go, whatever. But when I'm sitting down to do a session, depending on what I'm trying to create, I'll say this, like if it's more technical and it has words in the image, I'll probably use ChatGPT.
okay.
If the image is more based on vibes and just, but it needs to like really have a good little like a good, really needs to sell the effect that it's a fisheye camera that it took it. Then I would use Midjourney for that because they have better like it looks better, objectively. You can achieve good looking stuff in ChatGPT though if you're really good at prompting. But I find that on Midjourney it's more kind of like I feel like they're more of a hippie company, so that the stuff just has a more of a luster to it. You know what I mean? So
Interesting.
as far as image creation, those are my two go tos.
I'm still not on the whole AI train. I do a lot of like most of my art whenever I'm like feeling artistic, it's straight pen to paper, pencil to paper.
Yeah,
And I find that I mean, and again, I feel like all of this stuff. There's a lot of conversation about AI and like what's going on with it and like how we should view it in the art world. And eventually, that conversation will go away. It'll just be another tool like Photoshop or Illustrator or like any of those products.
yeah.
But I
I mean,
haven't
like,
found anybody with that perspective yet.
right. I mean, the same way I feel when I first learned Photoshop is how I'm feeling learning Midjourney and ChatGPT. It's the same feeling. Like, I feel like I'm learning the best ways to use these programs. I'm not just designing things that other people have designed with Photoshop. I'm not just removing people out of photos. That's what Photoshop was for.
For
I'm
sure.
creating like, vector illustrations and I'm doing all kind of creative stuff with Photoshop. So the same thing with AI. I'm like, yeah, I'm not just making like cat AI slop videos.
For sure.
I'm attempting to relearn my artistic um, workflow and integrate AI into that and still output art that I would make as a human, but be able to do it faster, you know?
Interesting. It's almost like you're and that's the thing about being like creative is it's like we don't always go into things with a directive on how we're going to do things. A lot of times it's like you're like let's say you're in a room and your things are on display but like as a creative it feels like we're looking in nooks and crannies like we're looking
Right.
up under things we're like how could we use this or how could we what can we find in this that like makes like we can express something that might not be expressed yet. So that I feel like that's what you're like. That's your process. Is you're not trying to yeah cat slop or whatever everybody else is doing. You're like, how can I use this to perfect something that is my voice or is my expression? Is that kind of what you're thinking?
Yeah, basically, I mean, a lot of my work up to the point of AI being as good as it is now, a lot of my work will require me to use Photoshop or a 3D program like Blender
Yep.
or these type of things to achieve the ideas in my mind. A lot of my ideas are just like something I posted today. It was like on my Instagram. It's called it was like a McDonald's gym. So essentially, it's just like an AI video of like a guy walking through a gym that would had McDonald's branding on the wall. You know what I mean? And so like that's just a Robert Gallardo type of idea I would have in 2014, but I would have had to like Photoshop it, and then or like I would have had to like 3D. I would have had to use Cinema 4D to
Yeah,
create the guy walking through it, and I would have had to like place all the 3D models of the people on the exercise machines, and it would have been a 4 day thing for a single
for sure.
creative to do. It took 20 minutes.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
So I have that many ideas that I feel like okay, now it's finally the time where I can just do every idea I've ever had now.
yeah, and that's what I mean. As a creative, that's what I find to be the biggest constraint is time. A lot of the times you have a lot of good or even just ideas you would like to like get out a little further, but with time you don't. Like if you're gonna build everything, you can maybe pick one idea a week to maybe flush out.
You can do
But
one idea a day.
and that's crazy.
You can do one idea a
And
day. Like, do you have any ideas that you've been like, oh, I want to work on whatever? Like, you can just do that
oh
in a
yeah,
day. Like, you could do it. You can build out an entire brand Bible, and website for an invention today. You know, like a brand for a new type of I don't know, a new branded way of I don't know matcha.
yeah,
You got no idea for like strawberry matcha powder, whatever. Like, you could just build that
for sure.
idea out, the whole website out, the branding for it, everything today, within one day.
Okay. Let me ask this next question because this is usually part of the AI conversation. Then what are your feelings on ownership at that point? Do you feel like this is democratizing ownership where like everybody kind of gets a piece of everything that's ever been created, or do you feel like you are kind of encroaching on people's creative what they've already created and at this point you just can't really care about that? What are your type of feelings on that?
I don't know. I don't really have feelings on it. Like when I when
Interesting.
I do create with AI, am not creating like make a picture that looks like Studio Ghibli. Like I'm
Yeah.
never come at that approach. So I'm not. I'm creating aesthetics, and I'm
Okay.
creating my own aesthetic with AI, blending different other people's aesthetics, which is what I did when I was a human creator.
And that's
Like
true.
that's all I was doing was, oh, I like Andy Warhol, and I like Virgil Abloh, and I like Steve Jobs. I like these people. I
Yeah.
was always blending people. Now I just have a tool where I can McDonald's gym, and it looks
Mm-hmm.
cool as fuck. Oh, like I had the thought of a McDonald's gym in my head. Type it out. I don't know who else had the thought of a McDonald's gym, but I had that thought. AI didn't give me that thought,
For
but it
sure.
gave me the image of it physically that I can like instead of just it being a note in my phone of like, yeah, I'll create that one day whenever I have 6 hours and a matcha and a
Yeah.
spliff ready to go and ready for me to lock in and not taking any calls and I'll create the McDonald's gym render one day. That's how I used to live.
Yeah.
That's how I used to be in prison creatively. One day I'll do this idea. Now it's like, yo, I type it up and I have a visual of it at least. And then
For sure.
that can be put into a deck and then pitched to an investor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Where
Like
that money gives you time, and then
then
that
that
money.
then you can hire the real people
Yeah.
that the real humans and actually, but it gives the creatives like more leverage to be able to have. Whereas like if I were trying to build a building, I'd have to like hire an artist to render my idea, and then I would have to hire a consultant to do whatever. Like all these things can be bypassed up to a point, up at least until the
For sure.
presentation point, right?
Yeah.
Because that's what would slow down a creator before. I'm not saying you can build a building without an architect or an architectural artist. You can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
But you can present your idea to these guys and save yourself thousands of dollars that they were going to charge you to get you up to that point that you're at just already with AI. And so that's why that's how it's empowering creatives and that's how I see it. So like I don't really think of it like from like a ownership. Everything I create with my AIs I own is my idea. It's just stuff that I've had in my notes for 10 years.
Dang. I really, because I've really been like, nope, nope, not gonna do it. It's just not like I just didn't know enough, and that's why I'm like, and
Brother,
again, you don't have the time to.
brother, come home. Come home, brother. Come home, brother.
I hear you because I mean I do a lot of motion stuff, so it's like a lot of the times I don't have enough time to like get in there and like move the keyframes and ease everything. And it's like,
Bro,
I
I can show you some things, man.
okay, okay,
Off,
we'll
off
talk.
back channel, offline. I can show you some
Okay,
things, man. Save you a
all
lot of
right.
time on
We'll
motion graphics.
definitely talk because I feel like again, in my creative career, I've been the mover, the pencil pusher, like the
Here's
like
what I would do. Here's what I
producer.
would do
But
motion graphics. Just because I can't walk you through it like in screen share, what I would
for
do
sure,
motion graphics, I would start with ChatGPT and I would create the graphic of the word. Um, Cam Davis podcast. What's your podcast called again?
creative questions.
Creative questions. I would create that visually, retro, vintage style, whatever, 3D cube dripping, whatever style, right? I would create that in ChatGPT and I would find something I would try 100 times. Find something I like, find 10 of them I like. Bring that into, you can do it probably in Sora now, so you don't have to go to like Runway or anything else. I use Runway for video. Bring that into Runway. Sometimes Runway might mess it up because it's not good with text. So honestly, I would just take the image ChatGPT gives you, bring it into Sora, which is owned by the same company, OpenAI, and say, and I think you can like make it like the first frame of the video, whatever image you have, upload it as the first frame of the video, and say 3D spinning text with creative questions spinning in and out of the frame or something like that. Just describe the motion graphic
Gotcha.
and then see what it gives you. 9 times out of 10, the first one is gonna suck. Oh, it got confused because I said flying in and out. Let me take out the in because it's already in. It's already on the screen. Let me just have it say
Yeah.
fly out. And then you fix it, and then you wait 5 minutes, make yourself some tea, whatever, use the bathroom, and come back. And you're like, okay, this is better. Oh, actually, I want to start with a different image because I see what it's doing. It's giving me images. It's giving me this kind of video because I'm giving it this kind of image. So then you go back to ChatGPT and make new images. Maybe you just make each letter by itself. You know what I mean? And then you make them animate each letter by itself, and then composite them all together
Yeah.
in After Effects now at this point.
Yeah.
You know, especially if you're like creating all of that stuff on green screens, which you can generate it from
For sure.
ChatGPT on a green screen. You could
Yeah.
say make this on a green screen or with no background. You know what I'm saying? So like you can create assets with AI and then bring it into traditional platforms, editing platforms and software. It just makes it faster. You know what I mean?
Got you. Yeah, I feel like also in that process, that's making you a better creative director. Like that's making you understand
Everyone's going
how
to
to
become a
describe
creative
things.
director. There's only going to be two
Interesting.
people in the future: creative directors and curators. That's it.
Dang. That's actually
The
an interesting because I come from the engineering field, and like when it comes to like you used to have a lot of again factories, operators, and like at some point some factories are now robots. They have people in them, but they are engineers, and then there's probably people who hire engineers, and that's probably like the
well,
main thing that's going on in some places.
the biggest existential crisis right now is that for people is that they all have to become creatives now
Yeah.
because because you can no longer derive your sense of self from your job, your work.
Dang.
You can now for the next 5 years if you want to just not look up, if you don't just want to be blind. You can still derive your sense of self from your work for the next 5, 10 years until
Yeah.
Elon Musk perfects those robots. And the AI, we thought AI was going to take over lawyers and stuff jobs first and all the boring jobs. It took over creative jobs first. But then I'm like, wait a minute. Oh, you could just be a creative director. You don't got to be a graphic designer anymore. You can just create worlds. And AI can create a world by itself, but who's going to want to watch that?
For sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Nobody.
So it's changing the landscape, and there will be no more jobs, physical jobs, and the jobs that are left will be different, and they'll be more administrative and
For sure.
oversee-ish and editor in chief ish, creative director ish. It'd be more like those jobs will still remain. The gatekeeper, curator jobs will still remain
Yep.
um, for a little bit longer, I guess, than the other jobs. Maybe not for that long, but like a little bit longer. And then yeah, you have to derive your sense of self from I just like playing piano because I like playing it and I like getting good at the songs. I don't care if AI can play a perfect version of it for me, I enjoy getting good at the skill of playing piano. And I'm
For
going to
sure.
spend the next 10 years of my human life doing that because I couldn't get a job if I wanted to
Yeah,
anymore. And I guess the government's going to pay me money now. I don't know. Like, 'cause that's going to get weird for the next 5, 10 years too.
for sure. Like
Oh,
how
yeah.
people, yeah, because everything's so tied to a job. So that makes sense.
Yeah.
Um, okay. I wanted to hop into talking about Og and the rappers and artists that you've worked with. Og is a creative studio out of New York that is started by ASAP Rocky. So, how long were you a part of it in the inception, or did you come after it was created?
After it was created, I came around. So I believe the history of it that got started with Yams and Rocky conversation.
Yeah.
I know 12 was in that mix of that conversation as well. As far as like my recollection of it, I wasn't there, so that's just how I have understood it from just being around and seeing things. It was Yams, Rocky, um, and that was like what they were trying. They were trying to build something, the next thing, I guess.
For
I
sure.
came around after Yams passed away. Actually, as a result of Yams passing away, is how I met Rocky.
Okay.
So through some artwork that I made to memorialize Yams and say R.I.P. Yams, and that kind of went viral. And Rocky and his team were trying to find out who made the artwork. And Rocky's manager Chase actually reached out to me and was like, we just want to connect, say thanks for making that artwork, and just see what's up with you. And then ever since then, we just started chit chatting and working together. Um,
Dope.
so that was kind of after AWGE was already a thing.
Okay. Yeah. So they bring you into the team, and what's like, how does that work? Like, what's one of the first projects you work on? Like, how do you get into it?
Uh, so my Instagram was like designed in a cool way, and so my first project was working on Rocky's Instagram, like
Okay.
because we didn't really know yet. He's like, I mean, I guess you could start working. I wasn't a video director, I wasn't a photographer, I wasn't necessarily a graphic designer necessarily, but that was my main skill. He's like, well, shit, let's work on it. Let's work on my Instagram, and then we just started working on his Instagram account, just doing the
That's
whole,
crazy.
making it look like one image all the way up his page. We
Yep.
started doing that in
Because
2015.
yeah, that was a big deal in 2015. Like trying to get it to look right when people came to your page.
Yeah, so
Um,
we started that, Rocky and I. So
Dang, that's people still do that. There are people who still do that, and it's
yeah,
10 years later.
crazy. Instagram changed because of that. That's why they started doing the swipe thing, the carousels, because
Hmm.
of that. They're like, wait, people want to post multiple pictures, so they started doing that because we kind of like made Instagram, I think, have to rethink the way they do their thing.
Yeah, that's fun. That's cool. What is it like to work with like Rocky? Like, what type of creative is he? Like, what does y'all's dynamic look like?
Yeah, a lot of the time, so he's super creative. A lot of the time, it's I serve as like almost a second brain to him, and just allowing him to like you know, get his thoughts off in a way that he doesn't have to be too articulate or too.
Mm,
Over time, I know the movie references he's talking about, or if I don't, I can easily find it, or easily I kind of get it, even if I haven't seen the movie. I kind of know what he means. Like we kind of speak the same language, so like I can take an uh, 2 sentence idea he gives me and kind of build a whole deck out of it, and then give it back. In a whole deck, I mean 4 pages, nothing crazy, just
okay.
like a 4 page just explainer of what he was trying to say with AI mock-ups and stuff. You know what I mean? And
Hmm.
now, but like the mock-ups used to have to go, hey, do you know somebody that can sketch this out?
Yeah.
Type of thing. But now, like, yeah, like, oh, you have an idea for a piece of furniture, bro? Let's see what we can get. And then use that to explain to the real artisans and the real artists who are gonna create the furniture, but you know, just helping him translate his ideas to the real directors and the people that really create all this beautiful stuff. Just like I
Yeah.
kind of serve as a person, one of the people that helps translate his ideas to the outside world.
Yeah, I've heard like, I mean, I couldn't even imagine being like at that level. I'm sure you you don't have like I feel like now I already don't have the time. Like I could only imagine how important
Bro,
that is.
When I got the notification for the Gmail for this,
Yeah,
30 minutes before, I was like, "Oh my God, I have so much to do right now." But let's just rock out. Let's
for
rock out.
sure.
Yeah. And I'm happy. I'm happy. I'm doing this. This is great. Like I love doing this. But like, yeah, it's just it. When you're, but it's a blessing. Yeah, it's a lot of work, but it's a
Oh yeah.
blessing because like as a creative, you know, I think it's even worse. The idle mind is the devil's playground. I think it's even worse for creative people
Mm,
because we're creative and we can create beautiful worlds or we can create very bad worlds in our head.
for sure.
You know what I mean? So if we
Yeah.
have the time, and so being busy doesn't allow me to ruminate on anything, you know. So
Yeah. I've been I don't know if you've heard Eckhart Tolle. I've been reading his book New Earth recently. And if you haven't read it, it's I think for creatives it's a very good book to pick up.
I haven't
Just
read it.
talking about okay, yeah, just talking about like where our minds can go when we let like that the talking that happens in the back of our head when we listen, like when we truly like buy into what's going on there, and like it can
Because
take you
like
to some places that are not good. Like
yeah, I mean we have to believe the worlds we're building,
yeah,
but nobody said we were good at discerning whether the world I just built is I'm in the good or bad version of it today or
yes,
this week or this month. I could have
yeah,
created a bad world that I'm believing in because I'm my whole ethos is built off believing in my ideas because that's how I got to the
100%,
point to where like I can pay bills off of ideas because I believe in them. So
yes,
if I'm in a bad place, I might be believing some bad ideas for like a month or two, you know what I mean? So
100%. Like
it's
I truly
definitely
believe like that's what I mean to talk about Kanye. I truly believe that that is what we can kind of go the roads we can go down is like we start believing our own stuff, and then it's like what's reality, what's not, and you just then you stuck like looks like
well,
what
Kanye, whatever reality Kanye says it is what reality is.
interesting.
We're in his movie. We're all in Kanye's movie, by the way. I'm
Okay,
trying to get out of Kanye's movie. I can't get out of his movie. I'm trying hard. Like I'm trying to create enough motion and enough of a world around me that I'm no longer in his movie. But for the time being, like a lot of us are in, we're in Elon Musk movie. We're in
I see what you're
Kanye West
saying.
movie. You ever see you ever seen Dave Chappelle's sketch about this? He's saying
Uh,
I was a character in Lil Nas X's either movie or dream. He used the word movie. So I'm referencing that when I say that. Like
okay,
he said, for that night, I was just a character in Lil Nas X's movie because of like the story he told. You got to watch it. It's great. But like
interesting.
those are kind of like Earth's main characters and 10 other people to go along with them. And yeah, I just want to either make my own indie movie over here. I don't want to be in.
I love that actually. I was like, well, where's this going? But no. I feel like that is a good way to describe what I've been trying to do also. Like just
Mhm.
in the lifestyle that me and my wife try to curate is like one that's outside a lot of the boxes that people put us in. Like we're homeschooling our kid, where I was an engineer working 9 to 5. Now I'm a freelancer who does the work he wants, makes his own schedule. She has her own business where that she's building, and she has full control over that. And I
Right.
think those are pieces to building your own
That's-
situation that is kind of outside of what society says you have to do. So,
Exactly. I love that. And yeah, you guys are definitely doing it. And you know, a wise man once said, if you're on the right path, just keep walking. So I mean, like,
dang,
you know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
that's what's up. That's what's up. I'm glad y'all are taking those steps and making it happen in real life. This podcast I'm sure is like a result of what you're saying. You
oh yeah,
guys are
100%,
like that's what we're doing. We're doing
yeah,
the thing. We're doing your thing, you know what I mean?
yep,
Like
yeah. That's
we're
it.
in
I
your
love. I
I'm in your movie right now, low key.
yeah,
You feel me? So
that's
like
fire. That's fire. I love that
you're also in my movie too, so
for
you know,
sure.
we're helping each other build out. You know, I feel like I don't think I have 24 hours of content on the internet for people to watch yet.
Yeah.
I don't think I have 24 hours of content.
Do you want
As a
that? Is that something you want?
yeah, why not? Like
Okay.
if I'm trying to be a creative that gets paid to be me, I need people to be able to have at least have the opportunity to get immersed into my world. So I need like at least 24 hours of talking head stuff on the internet of me just
For
talking
sure.
my shit. You know what I'm saying? Just being me, you know? So
Yeah.
people can be like, I'm a fan of that guy. I like
Yeah.
him, you know?
I
But
like that's one reason I love podcasting. Like, again, when I was in the engineering world, I felt like a drone. I felt like I didn't. I started podcasting. And I was like, oh shoot, I hear my voice. Like, this is the first time I can hear what I have to say, or like what my what's going on in my brain. And so that's why I continue to do it, even though it's a lot of hard work and it takes a ton of time, and sometimes it doesn't come out perfectly, and you're fixing an episode because the audio's messed up. But it's something truly. It gives a lot to me to be able to, which is a little selfish. I mean, it is what it
yeah, yeah.
is. But that's why I
But
do
but
it. Like,
but but like in a world where like AI is gonna do all the engineering jobs, like if this is one of the things that's gonna give you purpose along with building your family, along with all the other
for sure.
things, as a human, to not want to just like end it all or whatever the fuck, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like then yeah, like by all means create, you know.
that's dope. I love that. Is there a favorite project you have with AWGE? Like, is there? Because again, I feel like AWGE is such. I feel like AWGE is such an inspiration to a lot of young creatives with like how raw it is, and like how you got, again, building it by hand, doing the things that you all want to do. Like, is there something that you truly love that feels like, hey, that was my movie kind of thing?
No, not yet. Just the whole
Okay,
thing. Just the whole thing.
just being a part of it in general.
Just being a part of the whole thing, yeah, because
Got you.
yeah, nothing great ever happened in a bubble or with one person. So just
Yeah,
being able to be a part of like the people that are involved in all are just some of the most like superhero X-Men out kind of people you could ever even meet. You know, the
got you.
people that I've met and had the privilege to work with because of this are just some of the most like superhero people. Yeah. Some of my biggest
That's dope.
inspiration are the people that I've met because of having the privilege to work with AUG. So it's like,
Yeah,
I don't know, like
that's dope.
it's just yeah, it's like going to university for
Yeah,
creativity.
yeah. It's more than like, some people be like, oh, this is a job, but it's more than. It sounds like to you, it's more than a job. This is
I mean, it became more than a job a long time ago, man. But just because like, you're working with these people like it's not we're not in the office working. We're in
for sure.
hotel lobby sometimes in the airport of the hotel or in the airport waiting on the plane trying to finish this edit real quick with the editor homies with Haji and Jimmy and stuff like that. Sometimes it's like we're on set of a video shoot till 6 a.m. together and like the ride home the sun's coming up. I'm like, man, shit was crazy, but this video's gonna be fire though, bro. Yeah.
Yeah,
You still awake? Oh damn, my bad, bro. He's over there asleep. Like we're going through shit like that together where it's like, man, it was more than work a long time ago. It was a
yeah.
brotherhood a long time ago, and like the people, not just Rocky, but just everybody else too,
Mhm.
are just like are my brothers now. Because of like, yeah, we went through like kind of our version of war together. You know what I'm saying?
For sure. That's fire. I love that. I've
Being a
been
rap,
I
being a rap is not easy.
Oh, I believe it. Like, there's a lot of demands and there's a lot of stuff being asked of you.
Yeah,
There's no way. Rap is the biggest genre in the world. There's no way that it's easy being like a part of it. So
yeah.
I truly believe that.
I'm just trying to maintain the hairline, man. Just trying to maintain the hairline, brother.
Hey, that's real.
That's-
That's real. Mine jumped. It just got out of here. So I totally feel you on that.
You know what I'm saying? Like I contemplated wearing the hat, but I'm like I'm rocking out. I'm
Yeah,
being me.
love it.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah. So this is really funny. I was like super self conscious about like not wearing a hat. Lately, I've just been like, fuck it. Like,
I mean,
like,
the thing about it is like if you think of all right, so you're building a personal brand and you're building, a company up. If you think about like the worst photo you've seen of like your favorite person,
for sure.
like Jay Z
Like Jay
jumping.
Z on the.
Which Jay Z picture you gonna say? Because I was gonna
I
say
was gonna say the jet ski.
okay,
The
so I think
jet
it's the
ski
same
one too.
trip. That might have been the same
Yeah,
trip. That was not a good. So my thing is, if they're gonna eventually see me like that on my worst day, they're gonna eventually
yeah.
see it. Then why every time that I like put myself in front of a camera where I can control it, why do I have to be perfect
Dang, that's
I
real.
do get one. I do get like I'm not like looking crazy. I'm not looking bad. I do get that, but like, why be perfect? Like you see what they're doing to Duke Dennis now. You see what
Yeah.
they're doing to him, right?
No, I haven't seen it. What's going on?
My brother Duke Dennis is going through it right now. So he came up wearing grills, shades,
Yep.
and a hat like a do rag that was like, damn, they're right here,
Yeah.
right? When he lost a couple of the accessories, he started looking different. Shorty
Dang.
started they started tweeting, saying things, and it's like I don't. I'd rather, as my people are getting to know me, you've seen the forehead, you've seen the profile, you've seen
Hey,
everything. Like this is me, baby. This is it. So
I
like
love that.
when the Jay-Z vacation photo comes out of me jumping into the pool,
You already saw it. You
I,
seen it.
I
Yeah.
wasn't picture perfect all the way up until this, anyways. It's just another. They might not even look at it twice because I already posted a story of me looking crazy
They're
myself.
like, hey, look at him having a good time. Look at Robert out here having
Yeah,
a good time.
Black boy joy. Look at that.
Yeah. That's fire. I love that thought process.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay,
I just
so
don't have time to be like too perfect for the cameras and shit, man. I just don't have time
yeah,
for it. I don't have
I
time for it.
feel that. I feel like we'd be remiss to like. There's one more thing I want to like chat with you about. You've been wearing gray since 2015. Are you still wearing gray?
Currently, still wearing gray. I'm actually
Okay.
I'm actually in the state. I'm in St. Pete for the week at my mom's house because I happen to have all of my gray clothes here or most of them
Okay.
actually here. They're disorganized, so I don't want to show you too much.
No, you're good.
Most of them are here. I'm actually here to do a photo shoot for them to add them to a book that I'm working on. I'm working on a 10-year anniversary
Oh,
book to kind of archive and encapsulate the entire decade that I wore gray, this first one. And yeah, I'm here photographing all the clothes, and I got a fake photo studio set up in one of the other rooms, like, so I'm here for the week doing that. So but yeah, I'm currently
dope.
still wearing gray, and the
Yeah. Why
anniversary's coming.
gray?
When does
Why
this
gray?
episode come out? Oh yeah, I'll answer that in
Uh,
a second. When does this episode come out?
it'll probably be like first week of July.
I'll still so July 17th is the 10-year anniversary of me wearing
Okay.
gray. So a week from when you guys are seeing this is like,
Yeah.
the anniversary type of thing. Gray is just the most logical color to wear if you're only going to wear one color. As a person who still has to have a social life and who still has to travel to California and LA,
Got you.
who still has to date and go to like nice my friends' weddings, and I have to go to funerals. Like gray is the most logical. If you really sat there and thought about it, it's the most logical color to wear outside of white or black.
For sure.
And white is illogical because it gets dirty so easily.
Yeah.
Black, I've just seen people do, and I want it to be different.
Got you.
I've seen people wear all black. I've heard of poets and stuff wearing all black and writers and
Yeah.
shit. So
Steve Jobs is probably one that people talk about all the time that wore a lot of black or wore
well,
the same black shirt or whatever.
Steve Jobs is one of the people that that I was referencing when trying to have a uniform to wear every day.
Got you.
Steve
Okay.
Jobs, Warhol, Picasso had kind of a uniform people knew him for his He kind of like so Warhol got the striped shirt thing from Picasso.
Okay.
So he kind of had a uniform like there was this lady, the green lady from New York. She's been wearing green for like so many years. I think longer than I've been alive.
Mm,
So there was like inspirations to like have a uniform before I chose to wear all gray for the past 10 years.
dope. And what do you feel like a uniform gives you? Does it just give you a purpose, or it gives you like you're curating your look? What is the meaning?
I mean, all of the above, technically. At
Okay.
first, it was supposed to give me freedom from decision fatigue of what to wear that day and not think too
I feel
much
that.
about how to get fly and have a thing. But as you can see, I bought too many clothes. I
Yeah.
have hundreds of items. Over the past 10 years, I've just been buying, and I don't really throw stuff away too easily. I can, but I don't. So, what it's given me at this phase of it, you know, is not what I expected it to. It gave me yeah like it always gave me like a backup when I ever felt like I wasn't doing enough with my art or my career. It gave
Mm-hmm.
me a reminder of I'm still doing that body of work. I'm still creating that piece. That performance art is still in effect. So
Got you.
yeah, I might not be where I want to be today, but I'm still overall this whole era is encapsulated by what I'm wearing right now. Even though I'm sad, I look down, I'm still doing that performance art that you haven't seen many people do uh, before.
That's
And
fire.
you know what I mean? So like, there's a few examples of people who had uniforms, but like I chose gray. I did it for this long. This is my version of it. Picasso had his blue period. You know, this is my version of that. You know what I mean?
I love that. That's
Just
really, really dope.
thank you.
Like, especially being an artist, a lot of people are like, when they're not creating art, they're sad. You're absolutely right. Like when they're not like,
I heard
or
some
they're
shit.
having a hard time creating. Like,
I heard this shit recently. I heard a quote recently. I think Jimmy said it. He said the opposite of expression is depression, or he might have said it the other way
mm,
around.
yeah,
I'm like, oh yeah, so that basically meaning that like if you're not expressing yourself, you're probably gonna be depressed, especially if you're an artist. You know?
yeah. So it gives you a way to express yourself every day. I love that. And that goes back with the whole like AI thing and being able to get your ideas out quick. Like you're getting to express yourself probably every day because of those types of things.
Yeah, I had AI walk me. I had ChatGPT walk me through creating a patent the other day for an invention that I came up with, and I had to draw the invention patent drawings out as well. And I had
That's
to give
crazy.
me all of the ways I'm supposed to prep me for the ways the questions I'm going to have to answer on the patent website, and I explained to it the idea, and it gave me all the answers for the patent. And so now I have a folder ready to basically submit a patent for patent pending,
For
and I
sure.
did that in 20 minutes. It's
That's
just
insane.
if you have ideas, AI is
Yeah,
good. If you're not an idea person, then AI is not good. Because, but if you're an
yeah.
idea person, yeah, AI is good for you. Do the ideas.
That's crazy. Yeah, we're gonna have to chop it up.
Let me
So
know,
I
man.
always end each episode with one question, and so this question is, what does creativity mean to you? And you can answer that however you want. It's just a way to like end the episode and let people kind of into your brain of what creativity means to you.
Creativity is a way of engaging with the world in a playful way. So everybody has to do the things that keep us alive.
Hmm.
I think creativity is surviving in style. You know,
Mm, that's
it.
hard.
You get what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
like um, that's basically what I say. I think it is. You know.
It's like the sauce. Like it's like the swag. It's that extra bit. That's dope. I like that.
Yeah, surviving in style. You know,
Yeah.
because
Hey.
we all just trying to survive, brother. You know how it
Yeah.
is, man.
That's
But it's just doing it
fire.
in a nice way. You know. So
Okay. Hey, I really appreciate getting to chat with you today. Where can people find you on the internet? Where do you normally send people?
Instagram is my name, Robert Gallardo,
Okay.
and then that's what I'm pushing right now. That's what I'm pushing.
Okay.
I'm pushing my Instagram. I'm bringing Instagram back to 2014 days where you could post whatever. I'm
Dope.
pushing the Instagram agenda. I'm not letting the algorithm tell me what I have to post.
Love that.
Just go to my Instagram and support that. That's what I'm on. I'm not hiding
Dope.
likes. I'm not none of that. I'm just posting.
None of that. Yeah.
Just posting on
I love
Instagram.
that.
So just go to my Instagram and support that, and that's it.
Is there anything you want to plug? Is there anything that you're working on you want people to go and find?
Go download, if you're a musician, download Cover Art Studio or Cover Art AI. These are tools to help you create your own cover art I've created cover art in 30 seconds using these tools. The AI one actually takes longer than
Being
just
on the
doing it yourself in our app
yeah.
because we have it so dialed in that you can make your own cover art faster than waiting for AI to do it actually. But we have an AI version called Cover Art AI where you can go make your cover art using AI as well. But I'll go download those things if you're a musician.
Dope.
I'm always pushing that agenda.
Dope. And owning your stuff. That's dope.
Yeah.
Um, I really appreciate getting to chat with you. I hope you have a good rest of your day. And peace.
Nah, thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate you.
Yeah.
All right, peace.